up, guys? Greg, what's up, buddy? Hey, I need you to do me a favor, and whatever it costs, let me know. I need you to make me the attachments for the Zigzag for the wrench, because I had plans on sending this other wrench and tether to Jared or Nee, and when I went to use the other one, it wouldn't work. It's just too skinny. So I need to go ahead and somehow either get that made, because I'm using the one that I was gonna send to him. So we got Mike's here. What's up, Jeff? You guys not working today? Oh, we got Dan. Awesome. Oh, Nee's here too. Cool. Cool. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't fall over. Looks like it's gonna. Just got done. Awesome. Well, that's good timing. Well, for those of you that don't know, Jared, he goes by Knee Nigget on here. He sent me the Zigzag, and I've never used one before, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And I guess I'm gonna go ahead and just do it live, which may not be the smartest idea, but I'm gonna try it. We're gonna try to do it with DRT and with SRT for just my first time trying it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I'll say what I don't like. And then in the comments, you guys, if any of you guys have, which I imagine you probably do. Damn, I picked like hill to do this on. That was stupid. I imagine some of you probably have a lot more experience than me with this. So if you can leave any pointers or anything in the comments, that would be awesome. And also, I figure I just let everybody chit chat in the comments while I do this, and I'll periodically check on it. So I won't be able to keep up with the comments all that great, but I'm gonna try. Yes, Greg makes a tether. It's the one that I always climb on. It looks black only because I spray painted it, but yeah, it works really good. So it's an aluminum one. So let's go ahead and just get into it. Okie dokie. All right. So where can I set this? I probably picked the absolute worst spot to do this. I'm hoping not, but let's find out. All right. Yep. All right. What do we have? Disclaimer, it was in new condition when I sent it. It's never been used. Awesome. Well, hey, it looked brand new, man. Just like the hitch, but better. Looks cool. Greg is, I mean, I don't know how he would want to do that, but he can give you his number, or he'll email you, or something. So let me show you how I got this set up. First, I'll show you. This is basically, I'm gonna climb DRT on this thing, on that right there. Now, this is I guess a technique that I haven't really discussed or talked about very much on the channel, but this is not gonna work. I got a feeling. It's a really, here, let me see if I can put you here so the sun's not right now. Oh, much better. Oh, much better. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is base anchor a rope, and then I'm going to climb off that rope with DRT. So the way I have it set up, this is just a bunch of daisy chained rope right here. It's the extra tail that I had left. And then what I did is I just put a circus knot midline, and then girth hitched my friction saver on there, cambium saver. And then that's just daisy chain there to keep it out of my way. So as I did that, then I threw my line. I'm gonna try my best to explain this, guys. I threw my line up there somewhere. I don't know if it's that crotch. Yeah, it is. It's in there. So I'll bring it down. And then I'm not really worried about how I run my rope through my friction saver, because I'm not going to try to retrieve it like that. But I'm going to go ahead and put it through first. And then I'll bring you guys over here. Oh my God. Oh my God. You missed my story about August yesterday, Jeff, when he broke my heart. And I'll never tell it again. Like I said, I didn't test any of this, so everything I'm doing, I should have looked at before I got you guys on here, but whatever. Whatever. So, when I base anchor a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll just take and I'll use an Alpine butterfly, which is 3 wraps, and then you reach under, grab the middle one, up over the top, grab both, and then dress it. And you know you have an Alpine butterfly when that side's like that, and that side crosses. So then what I do is I take this in. I have a sewn eye in this end. Throw it around. I run it through that Alpine butterfly. Then I got it here. Please don't fall over, you stupid thing. Alright. So it's through the Alpine butterfly. I have a sewn eye on this end. So I'll go through that and then I'll go back the other way. So then I'm here and I run out of space. This is so stupid. I should have figured out a better way to do this. So then from here, I'll stop moving you around here in a little bit. I'll get you in a stationary spot. We'll do this. So when I get you here, there's the eye. I just take a micro pulley and take the rope, run the micro pulley over it, put it back on the eye, and then anchor it and get that gate of the carabiner, get the gate of the carabiner off there so that it can't possibly open up. Like that's there. I'll show you what that looks like. Probably all bright stupid. So there's what that looks like. If I tighten this in, now I can just kind of start the whole climbing thing. We'll see how this works. And I'll probably use a, god dang, it's not even in the screen. Sorry. And I'll probably use like a scaffold knot to hook my carabiner on eventually. But for right now, I'm just going to use a bowline. And it'll work. Alright, so there it is. Take the wrench off for now. Okay, so now I'll show you you guys. This is what I'm gonna climb on. There's the setup for now. I would probably like all that to be a lot nicer, but then you're dealing with the knot being right here on the links, which is no good. And then everything is up there onto the friction saver. So now I guess I'm just gonna kind of put you guys out here a little ways. That's gonna have to work, and you guys can chit chat and laugh at me if I mess up, or you know, whatever. Let me check the comments real quick. See who all we got. See if I want to stop right now before I get embarrassed. Yeah, you're always working, Jeff. That's a good thing. That's why you missed the live feeds. What saddle you got? No, I'll show you guys what all I'm climbing on before I go up, actually. Let's kind of pull this down here. You do a half hitch, and then another wrap below the carabiner. Yeah, I like this setup because if you look at the way, this is what I tried to, actually I stole this idea from Samoa Joe, or Samurai Joe. You guys do a lot of the pine trees, so he wants to keep his line kind of around the tree, which puts pressure on the trunk as opposed to out on a limb. So I use that idea a lot when I base anchor. Almost every time I base anchor, this is kind of how I do it. And if you notice, my rope stays real close to the tree and it actually wraps around it. So here, I'll show you my saddle and I'll show you the actual setup that I use always. So I just used for I've never showed this, for my buck strap or whatever, I just use the rope grab Rock Exotica, and I love that clip. So that's that's what I use for a lanyard. My saddle is it's a Weaver Cougar, and it's the webbed bridge one. It doesn't have the seat, it's just the leg straps. So I've had this saddle for probably 4 or 5 years, at least. Probably at least 4 years. Heavy, and it is a really comfortable saddle. Some people hate this bridge, this web bridge, but I absolutely love it. It is strong as hell, and I immediately put a DMM ring on there because when I want to hook like everything up, it would clip this way, which would turn the device sideways. So I hated that. So only way I could, then I started thinking put a pulley on here and all that stuff, but the ring ended up being perfect. I can actually clip 2 carabiners into this one ring. So I use that. And then I didn't want to buy the suspenders from Weaver, and August didn't come out with you guys' suspenders at the time. They was way before that, and I went to Lowe's and I found these AWP. I think they were like 14 bucks, and they have a single strap in the back, and then 2 straps in the front, and it's cushioned. It's got a real good cushiony back here. And my saddle, if you look, it's almost meant for this saddle. It's crazy. So I couldn't help but buy them for 15 bucks. So I'm gonna, if I'm being totally honest, where I get started here, I hate DRT. I despise it. I think it works good for when you need an additional tie-in point. But for trying to get all the way up a tree, I feel like it's unnecessary and you have to do twice as much work. But I'm gonna try to use a rope walking system to get up this, and I'm about to embarrass myself because I don't use DRT at all. But we're gonna do it. I have CT foot ascender. I'm gonna use the Haas Classic to try to get up there. So here we go. And then after I get done with this, I'm gonna do an SRT traverse up it with the wrench, but I'm gonna try to use a different setup. I'm gonna use like almost like a frog walking setup. It's the same setup I use with the Petzl Grigri, and I think that it should work with this. So That was impressive. That thing is smooth as butter. Wow. Yeah, I'm impressed. I would have limb walked that out, but if you notice, the tie-in point was like right level with it. Got a little sketchy. And I'm rocking like PJ pants and some running Nikes, which I don't know if you've ever tried to use a foot ascender when you have Nikes on, but it usually ends up on your ankle and like shreds your ankle like it did mine. So, let me grab a chair. I'm gonna sit down with you guys for a minute. We could chit chat before I try to do an SRT. Now does anybody have any pointers for the whole rope walking bit? It just seems too difficult. I don't know if that's just DRT, which it probably is, but I'm not a fan. That was a lot of work to get up that high, and it felt like it took forever. So, too much effort. Yeah, it definitely will. It ends right up on top of your foot and like on your ankle bone, and it just like tears your foot apart every time. But now I've watched a lot of people climb with the Zigzag, and I've never seen anybody do what I'm gonna try. I really don't use the Zigzag DRT. Love it for SRT. I'm gonna try it right now. Yeah, Nikes are not good for climbing. They sure are comfy though. So you loving Greg's attachment? Does it work pretty good for the Zigzag? It was so close. And then what I ended up doing is I took both of them pieces that are on the wrench that he makes, and I put them to one side and I hooked it up. But then the wrench wanted to slip to the side. I don't like that. So what I end up doing is using a double tether, a double-eyed tether that I had on the wrench that I was going to send to Jared. So we'll see. I like DRT when I need another tie-in point too, or just work positioning. I think it's awesome for, but I just really don't. I'm trying to think of the last time that I used it, and I think the only reason I did that was to show somebody something with a cambium saver, a friction saver. So I used it just for that. And so what I'm gonna do is actually, you're gonna have to give me just a second. I gotta run up here and grab a piece of rope. I'm gonna go grab this piece of rope so that I can switch this DRT setup that's right here, switch it over to SRT and keep the cambium saver and everything on there, and I should still be able to use it, but I will be right back. Alright, so earlier today, I like hacked up my rope here. It's a cherry bomb all gear, and now it's in 3 pieces. But I had nicks on it where I was base anchored and my ground guy hit it with a pole saw. So let me bring you up here. I'll show you like how I had this set up. See if I go that way, it wants to. Just stay. Alright. That'll work. So, there's the setup that I had. I love this carabiner from Eldred. On it, it works perfect. So, that'll more than likely always be on this thing when I use it. But to switch this over, all I'm going to do is unclip Here's the neighbor kids. They're crazy. I was crazy too when I was that age. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put a circus knot here. A carabiner to back it up. And I'm just going to hope that that is close to the ground so I can retrieve it. Yeah, close enough. We'll get that. Not really all that close, if I'm being honest. You see how high up it is? I have to get a ladder, but whatever. I'll get it. So, now, I gotta say, if I am gonna climb DRT, I'll probably never use a russet or the hitch climber again. That was so smooth. I gotta say, all you guys that have told me all this time to try it, I kind of didn't. I didn't think it was really going to be all that great, so I didn't really bother. So I got to say thanks to Jared for sending it, because if not for him, I probably wouldn't have gave this a shot. But that was crazy smooth. I have to say, I'll probably never use, hitch cord in my hitch climber much, as far as if I ever do climb DRT. But now I'm going to switch this over to SRT, and I'm going to try to use a different system to get up into the tree. I'll show you that. So here's the wrench that I'm going to use. Get a carabiner. All right. So there it is. Seems to grab good. It engages all the way. So I feel comfortable trying it, testing it out. Let's check the comments real quick before I take off. What's going on? Oh my God, I'm so far behind. How you doing, Brian?
most climbers will just, they're saying DRT once you get up there. Yeah, I mean, I figured out ways where it's just too easy to redirect your line through a crotch or throw up a speed line strap and set a redirect right where you want to be at all times and take it with you when you go. So I don't even switch over to DRT when I get up there. Pruning DRT. Oh my god, I can only imagine. Yeah, I hate it. 85% of the time, Jeff. Yep, I'm probably even worse. I'm 95. Yeah, I blame Kevin Bingham, Dan. It's all Kevin's fault. That was actually, that wrench isn't, I have another one that Cheryl sent to me, and it's the same kind, but it's the Kevin Signature series, and it's got red, this side's red, and this side's black. That's the one I normally use. Uni looks interesting. Jeff said use gloves. Yeah, definitely. I know. That's one thing that I picked up on. As soon as he said that, I'm like, well, I never thought about that, but definitely will. Easier on the shoulders. Yep, definitely, Brian. I just got home from tree job. Literally, a sketchy hackberry. Right on Sunset Lodge. Awesome. Well, it's awesome that you're working, man. I mean, I know there's a lot of guys that are going stir crazy, and if I'm being honest, if I'm not working, I'm trying to think of something to put up on here, because I can only imagine I have all this space and room to do things, and if I lived in a city and I was stuck in my house at all times, I don't know if I could do that. So if I can bring a little bit of entertainment, give you something to watch for a little bit, a guy to make fun of, here I am in all my glory. Okay, so I'm gonna get on to this. What I'm gonna use though to do this is instead of using the rope walking system to get up into the tree, a lot of times I see a lot of guys that use this setup with a wrench, and you know, you have your wrench and the zigzag. So you want to be able to get up in the tree, but you have your spikes on. You don't have spike ascenders. If you don't have, you know, a setup for that, this is a really easy way. This system, your feet stay away from your line, so you're not going to gaff your line on the way up. It's not the fastest, but it's pretty quick. And it may not work perfect. I think it should, because I've never tried it. But in theory, it has to work. So let me show you what this is. You're just going to want a hand ascender. A foot loop. Put that foot loop on the bottom. And a lot of guys, let me show you something. I see sometimes guys when they use hand ascenders, if you're going to clip it on, there's no reason to clip down here and put a pulley on, because you can clip up here and it gives an additional lock to your rope, and it lifts your pulley up higher and gives you more of a stride. So I mean, I totally understand when people hook it down here and why they would do this, but let me show you. So move the hand extender up out of the way. It comes out of the system here. You take double it, put a micro pulley on, and you don't have to have the micro pulley. You could just use your carabiner, but you're gonna take it and hook it on here. So I think you should be able to see that system, but there it is. So this is what it's supposed to do. You lift, then as you pull, it takes the slack. So all your work is being done with one hand. The other hand is just lifting the hand ascender up. So curious how this is going to feel with on there, but we'll find out pretty quick. See if I can find a better spot so you can get like a side view. What was that? This is a lot of wasted space on the camera. There we go. That'll work. Okay. Impression? That was awesome. That was smooth. Well, I don't know what else to say other than I've been missing the boat on the whole zigzag thing. That was nice. That was really nice. If you've put up a comment and you need me to answer something, I apologize, but I'll answer it now. So if you left a comment, I scooted ahead. I apologize. So what do you guys think about, to be totally honest, as far as effort, it was much less effort for me to buck up, you know, hip thrust almost with the hand ascender than it was for me to use the rope walking system. So yeah, it's a good technique to have for anybody who finds themselves climbing with spikes and you have trouble getting up into the tree because it's girthy. And you don't feel like pulling out your long lanyard, so you throw your line up and you set it. And that'll get you up there really quick. It's real easy to set up, real easy to take down. So, have I ever used the Ronin or the Raptor? No, I haven't. I'd like to. I'd really that looks pretty sweet. I think Trevor may have one, but I don't know if he uses it. I would like to use one though. I need to find like an old Raptor that somebody wants to get rid of. Because if I'm being honest, I enjoy the whole rope walking system and getting up into the tree, so probably wouldn't be my first tool to buy. Oh, we got Dan's here. What's up, Dan? BR 37. I've been climbing for about 15 years as well. Dang. You got some years on you. That's awesome. I don't know. I like it's weird how similar me and Jeff's stories are. You feel like it's cheating to use the Raptor? Yeah, but you know what? If cheating gets me done faster and it doesn't hurt anybody else, I'm all about it. So, I think it would be nice to have, if I'm being totally honest, before I would get a Raptor, I would probably get one of them Samson winches that Rion has. I think them things are awesome. I would love to have one. BR, I love the Zigzag. I'm being straight up honest with you. I put that into the rope because my rope had a bunch of major nicks in it and they were like close to the middle. So if you look there, all that rope that's strand together, there's like 3 different pieces. That's all one rope that I chopped up. And I taped and burnt all the ends and got them all set. I actually used my axe and just chopped it, my little hatchet axe, chopped it and then made sure I taped them first, and then I used a torch. But I didn't tin that. I didn't do anything with that, I promise. I came out here, I threw a throw ball, and I set a line, and I went inside and I got my phone. And you guys seen me using that for the first time. I've never even attempted to use one. And that was nice. That was really nice. It was smooth, and I can only imagine that I could probably dial it in more and more the more I use it. Yeah, BR, I'd like to try. I would really like to try the Uni one day. We were talking, and I said that would probably be the one. If I was going to buy one, that would be the one I'd buy because it's midlines. And I had actually a buddy of mine, Jeremy Eck, and I haven't heard from him in a long time. I hope he's all right. I may have to send him a message or something, but he's a really good climber. And he sent me a foot ascender before I got my CT, a Petzl Pantene or whatever it is. And I still have it. And I was actually it's one of them ones that's in there on my boot. So. Yeah, that just makes me think about him. I wonder if he's doing all right. I haven't heard from him in a long time. I hope he's good. But he's got a pretty sweet operation. Dan says, I bought the akimbo. When it rains, it sucks. I can only imagine. The same thing goes with when you're dealing with the akimbo. I believe you're dealing with a loaded cam system. The same thing as the gree. It has to be a loaded cam to actually lock the system in so that you can control it. Then you're actually releasing the cam by pulling down on a certain part of it, and it releases the cam, and that's what lets you ride. The gree is the same thing. The whole system loads itself. When you put body weight onto it, the cam loads, and then you're actually disengaging the cam with the trigger little by little, and that's what's allowing you to drop down. When you're tending up, nothing is engaged. You're just running straight cam. It's not a loaded cam at the time. So I hope that makes sense. I've wanted to try the akimbo though, BR. Yeah, I same thing with me. We got Epic Journey. How you doing, buddy? How is everybody? Raptor helps a lot more. Yeah. Anything you can do, you're invested in your longevity. That is one thing that me and August actually agree on 100%. That is one thing you have to do in this line of work. If you're not doing that, you're gonna have a short career. So most of us have short careers. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I thought I had it figured out. Then it rained and I was so pissed. Yeah, I can only imagine. Pricey those are. Yes. Yeah. I couldn't do it. It would have to be a while. And that's what, for those of you that don't know, like, I get a lot of guys that have big operations and have everything figured out, and I have a long career in the tree industry, but I've built a lot of people's businesses for them, and I got stabbed in the back every time, which doesn't make any sense. I'm a hard-working dude that I'll work myself into the ground for you, but some people, when they get to owe certain amounts of money and it becomes too much for them to handle, then it's your fault, which doesn't make any sense. But that's where I'm at. I'm just now building my business. Didn't have any clientele to start with. I had nothing. I had all kinds of gear, which I did my best to sub out to as many as I could. That's what tried to keep me busy, but kind of gets aggravating sometimes when you get these guys that are like, why don't you have a chipper? Why don't you have a box truck? Why don't you have a bucket? I would love to have all of it, and as soon as you buy it for me, I will use it every day. Sorry for that rant. BR, tell me how you like the uni when you get it. And I always like to know a guy's first impression. Like, there are tools that I've bought, and I did not, like, it's a difficult tool to learn. And is it a tool that you need some secret little tricks to dial in and it become nice? Because I've bought things and not think I like them, and then go back to it and realize I really like this thing. Like the gree. I personally didn't like that at first, until I learned to, feel, you almost go light in your hips when you're trying to do it. You can't just like bomb out on that thing. So I found a bunch of different uses for it, and that's where I imagine the uni, it probably has its little tricks. It's probably one of them devices. Think it'll pay for itself in a month, Dan? Dan says he loves his rope runner. You know what? That's one I would like to try too. I mean, but I just feel like it's too close to the rope wrench. It is the rope wrench, but all metal. So it's hard to justify that when I'm trying to build up a business, and I would love to just go gear crazy. And then I see, like, I wish that tree stuff would just send me a bunch of stuff to demo. I don't know why they don't. It's so dumb. Oh, and that was awesome last night to hear August won the video thing. There couldn't have been a more deserving.
which it probably I would have been. I kind of didn't pay attention to it much because a lot of them that I would have put on there weren't on there. So, but it's awesome to know that he won because I love that A-Team video. It's one of the best I've ever seen. It's the Petzl rope, the only sewn eye that will fit through the zigzag. Actually, not true. Eldred just come out with a new rope. There's a few people demoing it right now. It has a rubber gusset at the end, a stopper that comes off when you retrieve it, and it has a little sewn tether eye on the end of it, and it looks like it would fit straight through. So there's a few of them now, and I think you'll probably get more, but it does look a little sketchy. Has any of you guys seen those from Eldred? Yeah, Jared, it'd be a little aggravating, the whole it's not midline attachable, but it's not a device like the Gree that takes forever to tend a bunch of slack out of. You know, it doesn't, you know, you can tend some slack really quick, so I like that about it. Yeah, it's a great tool. I totally agree, BR. Well, Dan, you better knock it off. And Dan's over here playing with himself. I don't even know what's going on. Got all weirded out. I feel like I should, like, move the camera away from me a little bit. Jeff says he's got tons of gear he don't use. I do too. I got another bag up there that's got other hand ascenders in it. There were people that were in my town that never climbed before in their life. They worked for Townsend for a week, and all of a sudden they started their own tree company, and then realized, hey, this is kind of hard. So I'd buy all their gear off of them. So they sell it to another yahoo that would cut my throat on everything too. So I just buy everybody's gear so that they don't have it. Sword, but 100%. You know, I'm gonna call you EJ, Epic Journey. I don't understand, like, that's why I try to reach out to some of these older guys. You know, it seems like it's really hard to get through to them, but those are the guys, when you meet up with them, maybe someday you get a chance and you find a guy that's just tore his shoulders up his whole life, and you can show him, let him try something, you know, make that guy at the end of his career a little more comfortable. That's the kind of stuff I try to do as much as I can, but most of the people in this town are either just utterly intimidated, or they just don't know that there's an industry out there. They just think, you know, this is what hillbillies do. This is what we do. We grab our chainsaw, we grab our tallest ladder, we grab our pickup truck or our family minivan, and bolt a trailer to the back of it with a, you know, with no reese hitch, just a few ropes, tie it to it, and go. So that's what we deal with around here. It's a little nuts. I used brake hits for many years. My shoulders used to hurt since I've been using the Zigzag. I've had less shoulder pains. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I don't talk much about it, but my knees are completely blown out. My knees are shot. I've dealt with it ever since I was like 20-ish, and I broke my leg, dislocated my knee and everything, and it set sideways. My leg actually went the opposite direction it was supposed to, and you know, I've come from kind of I wasn't poor, but I mean, we got by, and we lived in the country, lived in a trailer. I didn't have a whole bunch, but what I had was good, you know. I can't say I was poor. So I had a blast, always, but it was more hillbilly. So I kind of entertained myself as I could, skateboard and stuff like that. And then, you know, you don't have insurance, so
we were at the skate park. I got a skate park put in my town. I did a bunch of fundraisers, and I've always kind of been involved with stuff like that. So we did a bunch of fundraisers. I played some concerts. We had some skateboard competitions, and we got Pepsi to sponsor us and stuff like that. And then they gave us a whole bunch of soda, like truckloads, and we got to sell it. And then the city matched whatever money we came up with. So we have a pretty nice skate park in this town. So about a month into having it, I snapped my leg, and then my other knee, my ACL was torn in, but I set my leg myself, and I couldn't walk for over a week. And it just kind of went back, and it's just held together with arthritis. My doctor refuses to believe that I climb trees, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not good at anything else. This is what I'm good at. You know, a few people may think that I'm okay at making videos, but if I had to make videos of anything other than me doing tree work, they would suck. Kind of like my live feeds. So it is what it is. I'm always trying to look for something to where it makes it easier on my body and on my knees, because I have some pretty bad knees. So. Oh, Scott, or no, hang on here. Who was that? Oh, Sam, what's up, buddy? Glad you made it. Oh, 130. Much at all. But for those of you that climb and have like back trouble and stuff like that, I really suggest investing in some suspenders. Like I said, I bought mine for $15 at Lowe's. They're well worth the money. I used to wear my saddle on the next notch over, and now I can wear it on one notch out, and then all the weight shifts from my hips up to my shoulders and like spreads out throughout my whole torso now, instead of all the weight being on my hips. And if you know you get a bunch of weight on you, you're using a big saw, it'll cut circulation off at your hips. You almost start to lose feeling in your legs sometimes, depending on how long you're in a tree. So, Joe, what's up, buddy? It looks weird. Section. It's a colored indicator. I've seen guys using Rion with the zigzag. Yeah, I really wanted to use the use Greg's tether with the zigzag here and show you guys, but it didn't work out the way I wanted to. So I ended up using that double-eyed tether that I got from Tree Stuff. So it got the job done, but I assure you that Greg's tether, the natural bend that thing has to it, is perfect for working with the wrench. Yeah, I wish you know what, I would like to buy one of Rion's tethers. I don't know. Greg's tether works so perfect though. It's hard for me to justify getting Rion's. Like, I'm just being straight up. Greg is a killer dude when it comes to metal fabrication, and he's just good at what he does. Yeah, Brian, Rion's is a little more, but I feel like the chicane would be more than Rion's, but I think that's purposely done by Petzl, because if you didn't, if you noticed when this all happened, it was illegal. You cannot. It is, I mean, you could hear the damn PPE police in the background, just because I was talking about it right now. But you couldn't use a wrench with a zigzag. Rion's wrench changed the game. So it made it acceptable for them to come up with the chicane. The chicane is a goddamn wrench with a better handle. That's all. It's bigger, it's bulkier, For those people that don't like the aspect of the wrench being in their face, they're never going to buy the chicane, because that's like putting a damn hammer in your face. I don't mind it. I get used to it. I actually use it as a handle, somewhere for me to put my hand to keep balance sometimes. But I understand for those who don't like it. But yeah, I feel like Petzl, I got off track. Petzl purposely priced their product below Rion's number so that people would hopefully go that direction. If they were the only one out there and you didn't have another option, I guarantee you it would be more than that. I think you can buy the combo, Brian, the new Zigzag, and the chicane, I think, for like $380. I might be wrong. Brian, if you have a double-eyed tether, like the one I used over here, I don't know if you got to see the setup before I started. It works really good. It works awesome. I mean, I like it. But if you can afford the Rion tether, I'd say get it. You know, if you want to try another guy who's starting to put out products and Greg feels up to it, Greg is a very good option. Scoot was on here. If he's still, yeah, Scoot's on here. He uses Greg's tether with the Zigzag and seems to like it, and I knew he would. So the new Zigzag is so much, I would say, smoother and better than the old Zigzag because of So is that a new Zigzag? Nee? Or Jared? See, I'm gonna figure that out eventually. As soon as I see Nee, I'm gonna say Jared. But then nobody else is gonna know who I'm talking to. But is that a newer Zigzag? Because it has the swivel. So I don't know. I tell you what, guys, because I just didn't find a need for the Zigzag originally, I just kind of ignored it. You know, I thought I understood the Zigzag's place in the industry for those guys that really didn't want to move from the old school. It could give them a product that's closer in between going to a uni or an akimbo or a rope wrench, or, you know. So I totally get its place in the industry, but I overlooked it. Dan, you know what? The thumbnail for my next video, I have a picture of you using your minivan doing tree work. And that'll be the thumbnail. You'll like it. I'm gonna work on that when I get back inside. Now I can't wait to post it so you can see yourself. So everybody knows the thumbnail to the next video, the next edited video, is Dan the Tree Man doing tree work out of his minivan. Well, he wasn't doing tree work. I caught him driving by. He was like maybe parked. You'll see. You'll see. I'm not buying any more gear. I'm buying a house. That's a good move, man. That's a really good move. But that gear will buy you a house at the same time, so. A pulse off fits right in the back of a Honda CG-V. Yes, awesome. The bar can rest perfectly on the console. I used a Geo Tracker for a while. You guys see my old farm truck back there? That thing right there? That's got a 5.0 high output in it. About half the truck is rusted away, and it sounds like a complete savage. But I bought that truck for like $1,000. It's just you can't kill them trucks. It sounds so good. The motor is so nice in it. The truck itself, the cab, nice. But reverse went out, and I still used it.
Only thing I couldn't do was I'd have to drop the trailer, sometimes turn the truck around, then we'd have to push backwards. But like when I would go in places, I would go to the bank, and my banker would be inside, and his office is right there when you come in the parking lot, and then like, so the building is here, and then back in front of the building is the parking spots right here, and they go do 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 do. So I would come in and I would run my truck into the curb in front of his office at the building, like right at his window, slam my truck into the curb, and it would shoot me backwards, cause I didn't have reverse, and that's how I would park my truck in the parking spots. And every time I came in, he's like, "Holy cow, man! Why do you keep doing that? You're gonna come through the door or through the building one day. Can you just chill out, or buy me a transmission?" SRT is great for limb walking, just for the redirect. So I think the chicane would be perfect for me. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just, it does tend to be a much bigger device altogether. So get her done, Brian. I mean, I have never used the chicane, but it is a rope wrench with a, let's just say, like, okay, you can go take a Corvette and go take a truck's body and slap it on top of it. It's still a damn Corvette underneath it. So it's basically, it's a wrench. They slapped another body over the top of it. Hung a 80. What? Son of a gun. Dude, them pictures you sent me, that was nuts. That tree was huge. And I thought I heard August talk about it. I miss all of his live feeds, but I watch them all afterwards. And I thought he said something. Did you guys take that thing all the way down, or did you have to leave a real high stump or something? Greg's tether does work great. Holy shit, am I that far behind on comments? I'm gonna scoot. If you okay, no, I'm not that far. Awesome. Tree gear can prevent one from buying a house. Gotta go. See you, Scott. Have a good one, buddy. Appreciate you swinging in. Stay healthy, stay safe. 12 foot at the bottom, son of a gun. And some people measure trees so much different than others. Like, I've had people be like, "Oh no, 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 this thing was 10 foot at the bottom," and like, they went all the way down to the root flare and counted the roots on the outside. I feels like, and then I don't even know, but I wouldn't doubt it if it wasn't bigger than that, Jeff. It looked so big. It was enormous. That thing was enormous. So what did you guys get to? Did you take it all the way down, or did you leave a high stump? I heard August talking about something about somebody carving. It flared hard. I can only imagine. It would have to hold that. How tall was the tree? Oh, Francisco, no, that sucks. Cut your lanyard. That's a bummer, man. But that's why I never throw any of my like old ropes. Any rope you have, usually if you get a nick in the rope, some bad spot in it, I always save the sewn eye end for an extra lanyard. So hopefully you have an old rope or something where you can just cut the sewn eye in and make you another lanyard. Or hopefully your things are going good right now, and hopefully it didn't put you in a spot. If you need something, or you're kinda, you need a lanyard or something, man, I'll figure out something for you. You gotta have one, but left a high stump. 110 maybe, son of a gun. Whew. That sounded like a day there. Like a rough day. Yeah, BR, that's Jeff, the one they did the interview on just recently. Oh, don't go stealing everybody's attention now from me, Jeff. God dang it. He's not that cool just because he works with August, alright? Come on. Alright, yeah, he is. That has nothing to do with his coolness, though. He's just cool. I am puzzling the neighbor kids. They are looking over at me like, what in the heck is this guy doing? He's just talking to himself, and I'm like pointed in their direction, so it just makes them look like I'm just like randomly talking at them. They're awesome. Kids are awesome. Oh. To Oregon? I would love to, man. Yeah, I would love to. I mean, I'm sure my wife wouldn't be opposed to going to swinging into California eventually, and if I get anywhere near that direction, I definitely got to come to Oregon. Somebody's got to put me in a big tree. It's a bucket list thing, you know. There's a few things you feel like you have to do in life, and for me, that's one of them. Definitely have to. BR, I said knock it off. Stop asking Jeff questions. You're supposed to ask me questions. God dang it. Jeff, oh, okay, now, alright, you guys tell me when Jeff's done with his live feed. No, I totally get it. I dig these get-togethers and stuff like this because it gives us time to pick each other's brains, and hopefully I didn't bore you guys to no, Jeff, I'm just kidding. You go ahead and answer it, man. I dig that this kind of gives everybody the opportunity to ask them kind of questions, because it's hard to do on, you know, August feed. Or so that's why I keep my channel so little, is for you guys. Not because it's not like I want a huge channel or nothing. I keep it small for you guys, so you can talk back and forth and it's not too big, you know. And plus I can't read good, so I couldn't do live feeds if it got big. Because you still far behind to get right now. Yeah, we love you, Jeff. Awesome. You guys are awesome. You just tied it again? Awesome, Francisco. Right on, man. Well, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, stuff like that, I could. That's essential. You know, that's that gear you really need to have. Or, you know, if anybody ever has, like, I'm pretty good at solving technical problems with little. Like, I'm not the guy that's gonna go buy every new piece of everything and put some. I'll use a piece out of this, a piece out of this, a piece out of this, and end up spending no money to put it together. So I'm probably a good guy to know if you're a climber on a budget. Like, I'll use a tool multiple ways, you know, stuff like that. Dan, you weren't joking. I wasn't joking either. I took a picture of your van, and I cannot wait for you to see it. It's a red van, isn't it? I hope to God it's a red van. I hope it's a red van so much. You guys see me sitting here shivering? The freaking sun's going down, and it's getting dark, and I'm getting cold. I'm in the shade. Fisherman, stop or not?
What's all that about? So you don't know the knots they used to on the Monkey Beaver Bridge? Oh yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think it's a fisherman. Or it's a scaffold. I know that those two are pretty similar. Just depends. I guess I've never... I'm one of them guys, like, when I get something, like when Jared's package showed up today, my wife is the total opposite of me. She's like sitting there and waiting for me to open it. Why haven't you opened it yet? Why haven't you opened it? And like, I'm the guy that'll get Christmas presents and not open it for 2 months. Like, I open it, but I don't have to get everything out and like touch it and play with it instantly. I have a thing called patience, and my wife doesn't. So I try not to look at things unless I plan on getting them. So I haven't paid the closest attention to the Monkey Beaver belt, but that's my next belt when I switch. I'm curious how long I'm gonna get out of that weaver. If I'm being totally honest, I'm pretty sure I've got it close to 5 years, if not more, on that saddle. And it's the only saddle I use. And I used to work sometimes 7 days a week, all day long. So that bridge has a special design on it that has these colored checkered things, and they're put on there so that you can pay attention to it and you watch it, and if that color, those checkers start to... I'll show you. I know a lot of guys use this saddle, but yeah, if you look, you see that? See all them little checkers? This thing is 5 years old. You put the rubber attachments here. I have no fraying going on. Both sides look really good. But I think the DMM ring was key for me. If you look, you know, your carabiners are going to be turned. They're going to be this way, so flat. And then when they clip onto this, they're going to want to turn. So either you run double carabiners, which is absolutely stupid. Run a micro pulley, like I did. At one point, I did run this thing up underneath it. And it worked, but I didn't like it. So I just ran a micro pulley there. But still, when I ran them, you know, it turns the system sideways. So it doesn't work right. So the DMM ring, because when you have this here, you're clipped in, you're like this, you go to clip on, and it takes it and twists it. Then your whole system's sideways, you're reaching around like this, and you're reaching like this. So the ring aligns everything perfect and keeps everything straight. These little rubber stoppers work perfect. I use a lot of different lanyards though. A couple smaller ones, a couple bigger ones, and then on top of that, I'll find myself using like the gree a lot of times for a lanyard, an extra one. So that's a very, very, very versatile tool that I think I'm probably one of the only ones to advocate to get that. But for positioning and stuff like that, it is awesome. So, I got 2 years in my tree mow. They're still in perfect shape. Yeah, I'm not a guy that takes his saddle off, throws it in the back of a pickup truck, and lets it get rained on. My shit goes in an airtight box that sits in the back of my truck that's got a camper on it. If I get wet, which I don't, I have a brand new, like the old style Weaver with the butt strap, the seat. It's got the D-rings where you clip together. A real light little red one. And it's got the leg straps on it, little leather ones. But that's what I use for training. I want to, I think ahead. I have another set of spikes that I use if it's raining. I'll probably climb on a different set of gear, use a different rope because it's raining. I just take care of my stuff. If for some odd reason I'm wearing my saddle, I get a little wet, that saddle's going in with me that night, and it's going to sit next to the heater. It's going to dry instantly. I'm not going to let it sit there and rot the stitching and everything. And I try to pay close attention to my stuff, inspect it all the time. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the saddle, so. I have the monkey beaver belt, and I like it. That's awesome, Francisco. I just dig it when I see that guys are just. I just dig it that August has gave people other options on all kinds of things, and even to produce a product like the Speedline kit that it just helps people. It does. I mean, that technique helps people, and then he puts it all in one outlet for you. Then he done the Tree Life shirts and helped Jaden's family and keeps Jaden's name going. It just, I dig the hell out of the fact that everybody has options and they support other tree climbers and stuff like that. That's my favorite thing about social media. Here, let me show you. Alright. So, I do the ends of my ropes. I always black tape, electrical tape first, and just get it as tight as you can. Cut it off, then melt it with a torch. Make sure when you're doing that, you don't take it, because then all you're doing is swelling it out. You want to keep that all tight and actually press together. So I kind of pull out, then I heat the end up and just press it all together at the ends. But stop or not. Now I'm pretty sure when you're doing stop or not, that's basically just like, isn't it like, I mean, you have figure 8. I'm not a big knot guy. Like, I'm really not. So you're fisherman, isn't it? See, I don't know the names as much as I just know the knots. So you have like ones like this where it's going to give you the knot out the side. I think when you're talking stopper knot, a lot of times it's probably like a figure 8. But I'm trying to think of how that went. I believe it goes around twice, then back up and through the hole. And I believe this is your scaffold knot. And the reason it works so good is because it actually runs the rope back down to you and keeps it in line there. I think your stopper knot, I mean, I don't know. A stopper knot is just basically a knot that stops and holds things in place, so keeps it from running out. So I mean, I guess that a stopper knot could be anything, you know, but I'm pretty sure they use like a figure 8 kinda, where they wrap a couple times. I think I wrapped one too many times. Yeah, I did. But that's all, I think. I mean, don't quote me, because I don't know 100%, but twist. That's what I usually use for a stopper knot. So I don't know what they would be using. Probably more than likely it would be a fisherman or a scaffold, but I would look those up. You don't want, like, a lot of things that I show you guys, like, I have my own way of doing things, but if I'm gonna show you guys something, usually I do some research and make sure that I'm telling you the right way. I would hate to say anything as far as that goes. Like, I'm trying to think of the purpose and where those knots would be, so what would be the best one to use. But I usually use like the scaffold knot for attaching carabiners. Like if I was going to attach carabiner, and I should have used this knot actually when I was using the Zigzag, but it comes out like that and it cinches up. But yeah, look him up. Educated Climbers is really good. He's really good at step-by-step things. I don't know. I just hate to show you something wrong, man. I don't want to show you the wrong way to do something, so I want to help, but I don't want to show you the wrong way. Cutter beeves. Cutter beeves! Cutter beavers. It'd be funnier if you didn't have the S at the end, but still funny. I use my ring for SRT. I use the rope bridge for DRT. Yeah, I mean, you have the whole bridge there to use, so, you know, I find myself, if I need an additional tie-in, sometimes it's just easier than trying to slide that ring over to the spot where you want it, and you can just leave it there and just clip right into your bridge. Yeah. I take my gear out every day, it goes to shop. That's a good man. You gotta figure it out. That's what you should do. Tell you what, I need, Kellen. Whoa. Oh, Jeff. Don't you even start. Man, thanks. I appreciate it, buddy. And if you accidentally did that, I'll give you your $5 back, I promise. Thank you, though. Saving up for speed like it. Just got 16 really tough. Really, Randy? Randy! That sounds like a good rope. Thanks again, Jeff. You're a hell of a dude. God dang it. Big enough for the rope. Yeah. I think you would almost probably have to go like industrial, like a hardware store, not like an AutoZone or something. You probably would have, I don't know, to find the right size that would shrink around a good rope. Like old school saddles, seat saddles, and short jobs, leg saddles, long jobs. Melanie Snyder. Is that actually a woman? Or are you using your wife or girlfriend's account? Because that's rare if it's a woman. And I'll watch my mouth if it is. And I'll stop talking about how good Cutter Beaver's name is. That's one I tied, but that's not. Figure 8. Yeah, I mean, when I'm using a stopper knot, Brian, that's usually a lot of times figure 8's where it's going to be. August has a video on the saddle being manufactured in a new type, and they show the employees' time. Yeah, they do. Yeah. That's a good point. Dave's right. They do. They go straight through new tribe and do that. I was going to say something, and I forgot. Jeff throwing money at us. Thanks again, by the way. Oh, a super chat. That reminds me. Kellen. I need Kellen to comment and give me his address. He's on here somewhere. And he has super chatted me multiple times. He's helped the channel out, and I want to send him some at least some slaps or something. So you got to get me your address. I don't know if I messed up and just put the wrong address when I sent the first ones, but I don't have your address anymore, and if they didn't show up by now, it sounds like they may have got lost. So I'll send them again, and we will get them there eventually. Oh, John, what up, buddy? How are you? What is the most versatile tool that I have? The hitch climber pulley. As far as a tool that works on almost everything and that I integrate into so many different climbing. But if you're talking about a whole system in itself, I know I'm not going to make a lot of friends, but the Gree is it. It's the device that actually taught me how to do SRT. I gained my entire understanding of SRT and how SRT works from doing that, from using the Gree. So it's midline attachable. Here, let me get it. There it is. Now let me show you what I meant by that loaded cam. Same thing the Akimbo does. See the cam engage? The whole system comes down. Boom. There's the cam engaging. It takes, and that cam, when I say the cam engages, it's actually just pinching. There. Look how this area becomes small when this engages. It closes it off. So you relieve pressure, and while that's engaged, you relieve it off with this trick. So I put this thing when I grapple. I use it a lot when I'm climbing, and if it's a short climb, I'm probably 100% of the time I'm using this. It's not the most, if you're looking to be able to bomb out on things, it's not, as far as that, it's not that smooth. It is great for tending slack, as long as you're not going straight down onto it. I think it's probably a better tool if you understand what I mean by that loaded cam, and your body weight determines how hard the cam is engaged. A heavier guy is going to engage that cam much more. So that's where I come kind of off with the idea that I think it's probably a device for lighter guys, you know, guys that, you know, some tree climbers are pretty heavy. I myself, I don't weigh a whole lot. I'm probably a lot taller than most tree climbers, but yeah, I'm not a heavy guy. So I weigh 170, 175, and but I'm 6'2". So if that kind of tells you, I feel like the device works pretty damn good for me. But my chainsaw's all sitting outside. See this? I took a 180, like the homeowner version, that has that stupid easy start and all that like twisty shit. All of that stuff. I hate these. So I took it and I transferred everything off of it. And this is a 170. And I took the 180 because the 180 was a much better saw. Which is weird because it's not much different of a saw. But as far as power and torque and everything, and I switched everything out. The bar setup, all the plastics, the way it started, and it was a pain. But that stuff does convert. You can switch it. You can take it off there. So if you was to buy like one of them homeowner little saws that's got that stupid adjustment or the little spinny thing, you can switch that off with a regular one. But guys, I hate to do it, but I think I'm gonna get off here. Here, let me show you real quick. See this here? Here is Greg, since we talked about it the whole time. There's Greg Brown's Tether. That's almost a brand new one. Michael, I can't smash it. Why would I do that? I'll use them parts. But yeah, there's Greg's Tether. What I did was, if you see those two things there, they're usually one on each side. So I went and I put them together instead and used it that way. There's the Bingham Signature Series. It's actually got Bingham's name on it there, signed. Half red, half black. There's the Tether Cheryl sent me. Pretty cool. But yeah, there is Greg Brown's wrench Tether with the normal setup like that. But you know, for guys that have different setups, these panels switch off. So this was very close to working on the Zigzag. Greg actually make one that goes out a little bit here and flares just a tad bit more, and he's gonna send them to me. I hope so. I'm kind of talking for Greg. I'm gonna make him send them to me. I owe Greg a ton anyway, so I better not say anything. I should just be saying thank you. Guys, I'm freezing to death. You made me get all my stuff out. Now I gotta go put it away and nobody's gonna help me. And I'm kind of pissed about that. So, stay safe.